the strategy of hating your customer. Back when I was quite a young lawyer, I did a lot of work for people accused of crime. And most of them were guilty. And some of them, although not guilty of the particular thing that they were charged with at that time, were generally shady people who had been guilty of plenty of other things at other times. Maybe it was because of this that my secretary liked to say, "Remember, they're all slime." Now, those people were criminals. So I suppose it's fair enough that that was my secretary's attitude towards them. But there are a lot of businesses acting for perfectly respectable customers who seem to have the same kind of attitude. Their attitude ranges from indifference to the customers to downright hostility. Let's take United Airlines. Recently in the news, recently as of the time I'm recording this, they got a whole lot of attention for their abusive conduct towards Dr. Dow, where they dragged him off the airplane bleeding and semi-conscious. And they've done other things at other times that seem to show an attitude of indifference or hostility towards the customers. Now, how could that be, and why would that be, that companies would have that kind of attitude? Well, psychologists tell us that in large bureaucratic organizations, it's actually reasonably common that the people in the organizations will focus less as time goes by on the concerns of the customers and more on internal concerns and running the operation for the convenience of the people who work for it, as opposed to for the convenience of the customers. And this can actually become hostility to the point where customers are viewed as nuisances at best. Now let's consider United Airlines and other large bureaucratic organizations. Let's look at it from their point of view. From the point of view of United Airlines, the customers are pretty much a necessary evil. Yes, you have to have customers in order to make money. But what's really important is the government backing that they get. They have a lot of routes. They have government protection against foreign competitors. They even have government money in terms of bailouts when they need it. So you could understand that they would tend to view not the customers as really being key, but government as being key. To take a more extreme example, let's think about people running prisons. From their point of view, the prisoners, yes, you have to have prisoners. You have to have prisoners in order to make your money. But the real customer, in a sense, is the government, not the prisoner. The prisoners don't have to like you. You don't have to like the prisoners. You're depending on the government. And in the larger, more bureaucratic and government-protected industries and businesses, you will tend to get these kinds of attitudes towards the customers. Now, is it a problem for the business to be like this? Well, it would seem not. As long as the government is reasonably content with them, they get their protection and they make their money. But consider this. If you take the short-term view, practically anything can work. You can base a business on lying, cheating, and stealing, and for a while you'll get away with it. But it's not a long-term, stable strategy. Consider the railroads. The railroads had significant government protection, and for a while that was great. What happened over time? Well, people found other ways of moving goods. The railroads became less important. They got ousted to a large degree by trucking as a way of moving goods. Also consider OPEC and their oil embargoes and ways of manipulating international oil prices, where for a while they were making money like crazy and feeling wonderfully powerful and everything was great. over time, because people didn't like the instability and the high prices caused by OPEC, over time, people, businesses, countries adapted, found more energy efficient ways of conducting themselves, dealing with their needs, and also found additional energy and additional ways of extracting energy, such that now OPEC really doesn't control international prices anymore. They just can't. I mean, they can hike their production, they can drop their production. Doesn't really have a huge impact anymore. Now, getting back to the airlines, if things continue with airlines being a miserable way to travel that's getting more miserable all the time, aren't people, aren't businesses going to adapt? Aren't they going to find other ways of traveling? Aren't they going to find ways of avoiding traveling? Hating the customer, it can be fun for a while. It can even work for a while. But long term, businesses with that attitude are asking for trouble.